I won $5 million in the lottery. My best friend told me not to trust my in-laws and to go cash it in with her. On the way there, we got into a car crash. I died instantly. My soul floated in the air, watching as my best friend and her boyfriend went to claim the money and began living like millionaires. Later, when my in-laws found out the truth, my husband grabbed a knife, ready to avenge me. But my mother-in-law stopped him. That night, she tricked my best friend and her boyfriend into coming over for dinner. The food was poisoned. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my best friend, and her boyfriend all died. As my mother-in-law lay dying, she clutched my photo and whispered, "My dear girl, I'm so sorry." I was overwhelmed with regret, hating myself for being so blind. And then I was reborn. 1. The pain from the car crash left me breathless, and it took me a long moment to catch my breath again. My best friend Lauren's voice crackled over the phone. "Why are you being so secretive? Don't tell me you actually got lucky and won the lottery." A jolt went through me. I looked down at the lottery ticket in my hand, saw the numbers and knew. I was reborn. Reborn right before my own stupid death. Hearing her pressing me on the other end of the line, I suppressed the hatred in my heart and forced a laugh. "Yeah, I won $500. Pretty cool, huh?" Lauren scoffed. "Not bad. You're treating tonight. I've got something to do, so I'm hanging up." And she did. I let out a breath of relief and stared at the ticket in my hands, my eyes welling with tears. In my past life, after I told Lauren about the win, she immediately warned me not to tell anyone in my husband's family. She reminded me how they had shorted me on the dowry, promising $80,000, but only giving $30,000. "A family like that looks down on you," she said. "They're not worth your loyalty." Besides, it was a good way to test my husband, to see if he'd start to resent me when we had no money, and I wasn't working. As for the lottery winnings, of course we had to cash it and stash it away. She said it would be best to keep it in her bank account, so it wouldn't be considered marital property. At the time, I thought it felt a little extreme, but she chewed me out, calling me naive. "If you decide he's a good guy later, you can always take the money out then," she argued. I figured she was right, so I secretly went with Lauren to claim the prize. I never expected that on the way, our car would suddenly flip into a ditch. I was knocked unconscious. By the time I came to as a spirit, I saw Lauren and her boyfriend taking my ticket to cash it in. In that moment I understood. They had plotted against me. They had murdered me. I was furious, but there was nothing I could do. I could only watch as they bought a house and a car, while my own soul grew fainter and fainter. Until I saw my husband, Alex, hiding nearby, staring at them with pure hatred in his eyes. 2. It had only been a month, but he'd gotten so thin he looked like a different person. His eyes were terrifyingly red. I instinctively floated after him back to our home. The cozy 800-square-foot apartment now felt chillingly cold. My mother-in-law's lips trembled. "Are you sure?" It was them. Those two bought another car today, and I saw her wearing Mia's brooch. That was the most valuable thing she owned. It was my wedding gift to her. My husband always called me kiddo, because I was almost 5 years younger than him. It was cheesy, but he never cared what other people thought. My mother-in-law clutched her chest, grief-stricken. My dear girl, such a good person. And she was 2 months pregnant when she died. Those monsters, how could they? My poor girl. A wave of complicated emotions washed over me. Ever since I'd married into the family, they had been kind to me, but I'd always kept my distance because of the whole dowry incident. I never imagined they were the ones who cared about me most. Just then, my husband walked out of the kitchen holding 2 knives. "No, don't go. You can't destroy this family. Your father is paralyzed. Your mother is old. You can't be this selfish." I tried to block him, but he walked right through me. I hoped my mother-in-law would talk him down, but she just sighed. "If you have to go, then go. But like this, you'll be caught before you even get close to them. Be patient. Think of a better way." My husband nodded. "I'll go figure something out. I have to get revenge. Mom, I'm sorry." My mother-in-law didn't try to stop him. After he left, she went into the kitchen and came back with 2 bottles. My father-in-law was lying there, one side of his body immobile, but his eyes were sharp. My mother-in-law placed the 2 bottles in front of him. This bottle of poison is for us. This weed killer is for them. I looked it up. This stuff doesn't kill you fast. It'll make them suffer. 3. My father-in-law drooled and let out a grim chuckle. Good. We won't suffer like that, old woman. When you spike their food, use plenty. I knew what they were planning. I pleaded with them, but it was useless. A few days later, my mother-in-law humbled herself and invited Lauren and her boyfriend over for dinner, saying she needed to borrow money for my father-in-law's medical bills. Lauren, eager to flaunt her new wealth, treated my in-laws with utter contempt but ultimately stayed for the meal. I watched as they collapsed to the floor, convulsing. I watched as my father-in-law and mother-in-law collapsed, too. My mother-in-law died still holding my picture. Apologizing for the humiliation I endured at my wedding. Even as a spirit, I felt a profound sadness and regret. Then a flash of white light, and I was reborn back in the moment I had just won the lottery, and was about to share the news with Lauren. Thank God I hadn't told her yet. With that thought, I rushed out of my room and threw my arms around my mother-in-law, who was in the kitchen cooking. In my last life, I had been so foolish. My mother-in-law froze for a second, then looked at me with a fond smile. What's wrong? Don't want eggplant? Mom will make you something else. My husband, who was washing vegetables, chimed in. I'll stir-fry some broccoli for you. Weren't you saying you wanted to lose weight? I'll make you a diet meal. It was just like last time. A Sunday, with them in the kitchen making me a huge dinner, while I was on the road to my death, tricked by my best friend. I fought back my sorrow, smiled, and waved the lottery ticket. Alex, Mom, stop cooking. I won second prize in the lottery, $5 million. Let us go claim it first. What? My mother-in-law's spatula clattered to the floor. My husband glanced at it and said, My wife is amazing. All right, let us go get our winnings. 4. I'm too old for all that excitement. You two go ahead. And keep it quiet, you hear? I'll have dinner ready when you get back. My mother-in-law was overjoyed. She wiped her hands and hurried into the other room to tell my father-in-law. My husband and I took a cab to the lottery office. We didn't even take our own car, it just felt safer. We didn't talk about the money on the way. It wasn't until everything was processed that I finally felt like I could breathe again. My husband, however, looked like he was in a daze. He blinked his wide, almost goofy eyes at me. Honey, pinch me. I feel like I'm dreaming. Okay. Oh, you really did it. Hey, honey, wasn't there a bag you wanted? Let us go buy it for you. A better one, even. The first thing he thought of after getting the money was buying me a purse, not a house or anything for himself. I shook my head. This is my money. I call the shots. He immediately nodded. You got it, you got it. Whatever you want to buy. First, we're taking Dad to the hospital. His condition was never properly treated. If we get him help now, there's still time. He might even be able to walk again. My husband froze, then wrapped his arms around me and cried like a child. Just like that, we called an ambulance and took my father-in-law to the hospital. My mother-in-law's eyes were red the whole time as she watched me, looking as obedient and awestruck as her son. We spent $100,000 to admit him to a top-tier rehabilitation facility. The doctors said he'd be out soon after treatment. They told us we didn't need to stay there all the time and could go home. While at the hospital, I had my blood drawn for a test. I showed the results to the doctor, and sure enough, I was pregnant. There were so many happy surprises in one day that my mother-in-law almost fainted from joy. Her blood pressure even shot up. We had a nice dinner out and didn't get home until 10 p.m. None of us were sleepy. We sat around the dining table, drinking tea and discussing where to buy a bigger house. That's when Lauren called. I took Alex's phone, turned on the voice recorder, and put the call on speaker. Lauren's voice was anxious. Mia, did you really win second prize? Like $5 million? Why do you lie and say it was 500? 5. I know you always play those numbers. Don't lie to me, I know you'd never miss a drawing. It's the anniversary of when you and your husband met. You said it was your luckiest day and you'd play it every single time. Didn't you say a crappy day like that wasn't worth remembering? Hey, you never listen to me anyway, do you? So you really won 5 million. That's awesome. You're amazing. But listen, don't you dare tell your husband or your in-laws. They'll just try to get their hands on your money, and then once they spent it all, they'll kick you out. You can't trust them. After all, they promised an $80,000 dowry before the wedding and stiffed you for 50 grand. They're so shameless. You can't trust a family that conniving. Quick, grab the ticket, let us go cash it and put the money in my account. That way, if you get divorced, it won't be marital property, and Alex's family won't get a dime. She spoke in a rush, every word supposedly for my own good. I answered coldly. And what if you're after my money? Then I'd lose everything, wouldn't I? What are you talking about? I'm your best friend. I would never, ever cheat you. If I do, may lightning strike me dead. Sorry, but as much as I'd love to see you struck by lightning, my money has already been spent on my father-in-law's hospital bills. I said it in a joking tone, knowing my so-called best friend was about to lose it. 6. Sure enough, not knowing my husband and mother-in-law were there, she completely lost her temper. Mia, are you an idiot? You gave money to that old bastard for his hospital bills? He's about to die anyway. What are you treating him for? And your husband is a useless man. I don't even know what to say to you. How much is left? Give it to me, I'll keep it safe for you. Her tone was so entitled, as if she were ordering me around. My husband couldn't take it anymore. Lauren, I've kept my mouth shut because you're my wife's friend, but you're not her mother. Who the hell do you think you are to order my wife around? After he said it, he looked at me pitifully, afraid I'd be angry at him for interfering. I just hung up the phone. With tears in my eyes, I said, I had no idea she was that kind of person. I'm done with her. Mom, Alex, if she comes around again, please help me keep her away. I played the part of the heartbroken best friend perfectly, and they were full of sympathy. For now, I needed them to be on their guard and not let Lauren manipulate them. My mother-in-law and husband comforted me for a long time, before I went to my room to rest. But was I going to let Lauren off the hook? Was I just going to wait for her to come asking for money again? Of course not. After all, we worked at the same elementary school. There was another reason I let my husband listen to that call. I was going to expose Lauren's affair with a married man. That's right. Her boyfriend, the one who helped her murder me, was already married with 2 kids. He was just playing around with Lauren. It was only after they killed me and got the money that they were stuck together, like 2 grasshoppers on the same string. That's when he finally divorced his wife to be with Lauren. Now it was time to ruin them both. Just as I expected, Lauren was shameless enough to keep trying to get my money. After being told off by my husband, she started bombarding me with texts, telling me how awful Alex was, even accusing him of cheating on me and telling me to be careful. A moment later, I received a photo of my husband holding another woman. I rolled my eyes. Based on how he was ready to grab a knife and avenge me in my past life, there was no way he'd have another woman. But I burst into loud, dramatic sobs anyway. My husband rushed out of the shower, his hair still full of foam. Kiddo, what's wrong? What did I do? Where does it hurt? Do we need to go to the hospital? 7. My mother-in-law, who was tidying up outside, rushed in too. Seeing me crying with my phone in hand, she cautiously took it from me. Her face changed the moment she saw the photo. She grabbed a shoehorn and started hitting my husband with it. You rotten kid. You're up to no good. Your wife is newly pregnant, you're newlyweds, and you're already out there fooling around. What? Mom, stop hitting me. I didn't do anything. My husband quickly snatched the phone, took one look and immediately said, I'm being framed. This is photoshopped. This woman is a model. It's from an ad. I'll find it for you. Mom, stop hitting me. He quickly opened his laptop and found the original photo of the model by herself. The pose was identical to the one where she was hugging him. He held it up to me with a fawning smile. See, honey? I wasn't lying. My husband was an associate director at a gaming company, so he could spot a Photoshop job a mile away. And Lauren's boyfriend worked at an ad agency, so he could easily create something like this. Lauren sent it thinking I wouldn't show it to my husband or mother-in-law. She knew my stubborn pride all too well. But she didn't know I had been reborn. I knew who was a human and who was a dog. This woman is just evil, my mother-in-law fumed. She's trying to break you two up to get your money. Don't you worry, sweetheart. I'll go deal with her. My mother-in-law was about to march out and find Lauren. I grabbed her arm and shook my head. Mom, you have to go to the hospital to see Dad tomorrow. Don't lose sleep over this. Let us younger folks handle it. She stroked my head. Be careful of women like that from now on. She's nothing but trouble, a real piece of work. I know. After my mother-in-law left, the hatred in my eyes was finally unconcealed. Alex, Lauren is awful. I want revenge. Will you back me up? My husband's eyes were red with anger. He nodded. Yes, of course I'll back you up. But honey, you should quit your job. I'm worried she'll try to hurt you. Okay. But before I do, I'm going to make sure Lauren loses her job too. I want her to be pointed at and whispered about wherever she goes. Done. I'll help you. 8. I took a day off. When my husband drove me to the school to submit my resignation, we saw a giant banner hanging over the main gate. It read, "Wishing your esteemed teacher, Ms. Lauren, a happy cohabitation with the very married Mr. Dave Johnson. Congratulations on your new love nest in apartment 1110, building 3, at XXX Condos, and on your nights of passion." Flyers with the same message were plastered on every telephone pole leading up to the school. Parents dropping off their kids saw the gossip and started buzzing with excitement. An old woman suddenly turned to another. Hey, I heard your son-in-law's name is Dave Johnson. Just a coincidence, of course. But isn't that the condo complex you used to live in? Building 3, I think. Everyone turned to stare at the old woman. She exploded in anger. That idiot Dave Johnson. Living off our money, and he dares cheat on my daughter with some tramp? I'm going to kill him. I knew Lauren's boyfriend was a total freeloader. His wife was from a well-off local family with property. After they got married, her parents supported them, which is how he could afford to spoil Lauren a little. Now he was finished. As for Lauren, I saw her in the principal's office after I handed in my resignation. She was crying her eyes out, insisting it was all a misunderstanding. When she saw me, she even tried to pull me over as a witness. But my husband batted her hand away. My wife is pregnant. Stay away from her. Don't let people start whispering about her, too. Get lost, you useless old man. Lauren snapped. You're so much older than my friend. You have no right to stand there and stop us from talking. I've known her 10 years longer than you have. Lauren looked at me, a picture of endless grievance. It was clear she didn't suspect I was behind this. In her eyes, I was still the world's biggest fool. I smiled from behind my husband. That's right. You're supposed to be the one who wants me to be happy. So why would you say something like that about my husband? He might not be some CEO or a rich pretty boy, but he is the best to me. I'm pregnant now, and the doctor told me to rest. So please, don't come looking for me anymore. I made it clear I wanted to cut ties. What are you talking about? Hurry up and vouch for me. Tell them I have nothing to do with Dave Johnson. Lauren frantically signaled to me with her eyes. She thought that if I spoke up for her, the school would let her off the hook. But I just laughed. Lauren, don't worry. The school will investigate and clear your name. As for me, right now I don't have the energy. My face changed, and I looked like I was about to throw up at any second. 9. Seeing how sick I looked, my husband quickly scooped me up and headed for the door. Lauren tried to stop us, but my husband roared. Get the hell away from us. I'm taking her to the hospital. Can't you see she is sick? It was probably the first time Lauren had ever seen my mild-mannered husband so angry. She instinctively jumped back. My husband used the opportunity to run out with me. Once we were outside, I tapped his chest. Alex, I'm better now. It was probably just morning sickness. You can put me down. I was only pretending, just to get away from Lauren for the moment. Yes, just for the moment. Lauren was incredibly shameless and still saw me as her personal puppet. Sure enough, less than a day after we got home, she was at our door, dragging a suitcase behind her. She cried about how she'd been kicked out and had nowhere to go, forced to beg for a place to stay at her best friend's house. If it hadn't been for everything that happened, my family definitely would have taken her in. After all, she stayed with us for a while before when she was between apartments, and my mother-in-law had treated her like a queen, cooking her fancy meals every day. And behind our backs, she was always bad-mouthing my mother-in-law, a real snake in the grass. But this time she was not welcome. Everyone gave her the cold shoulder. My mother-in-law blocked the doorway. "We don't dare keep a woman like you in this house. Your business is all over the internet. You should leave. My daughter-in-law is pregnant. What if it's a girl and she picks up some of your filthy, unlucky habits? What if she grows up crooked? Go on, get out." My mother-in-law was shouting, a complete departure from her usual demeanor. Her outburst drew the attention of several neighbors. Lauren quickly put on a mask and pushed past my mother-in-law. "Please let me in. I really have nowhere else to go. I'm Mia's best friend. Let me see her. Let me see her. Are you keeping your own daughter-in-law locked up? Are you trying to hurt her? I heard she won the lottery, and now you won tea. Let me see her. Did you do something to her for the money? I want to go in and see for myself." With that, she tried to force her way inside with her luggage. 10. When it comes to being shameless, if she's number 2, no one dares claim to be number 1. Just then, I emerged from my room in my pajamas, rubbing my eyes and looking exhausted. "What's going on, Mom? Why is it so noisy?" I was up half the night throwing up before I finally fell asleep. The neighbors who had been murmuring about my mother-in-law saw me and changed their tune. "See, she's fine. How much could you win in a lottery anyway? Not enough to kill someone over. I think you're just letting your imagination run wild, young lady." "Kill someone? What are you talking about?" I asked, feigning confusion. A neighborly auntie filled me in on the whole story. My eyes went wide, and I pointed at Lauren, my voice rising. "How could you accuse my in-laws of something so awful? When you stayed with us before, my mother-in-law waited on you hand and foot, like you were royalty. 3 meals a day, with 4 or 5 dishes every time. And you know how good they are to me. Why would they ever hurt me for money? It's true I won second prize in the lottery, but I used it to pay for my father-in-law's hospital bills, buy a big house for the family, and get my husband a new car. It's almost all gone. I said it on purpose. Given the spoiled temper I had enabled in Lauren, I knew she wouldn't let it go. Sure enough, when she heard I'd spent the money on my in-laws, she flew into a rage. "What are you talking about? Are you some kind of moron? You were so honest you just gave all the money to your in-laws? Have you thought about yourself at all?" If my mother-in-law hadn't been blocking her, her finger would have been jabbing my nose. That's a strange thing to say. I'm married into this family, and I'm about to be a mother. Why would I be secretive? Besides, I get to live in the house and drive the car, so how is that moronic? Don't you come here trying to stir up trouble between us. My words set off a wave of whispers among the onlookers. "You're a strange one, young lady. Why are you coming here and saying things like that? Are you trying to get them to fight?" Once one person said it, others chimed in. I took the opportunity to get angry myself. "Lauren, I see you're up to no good. From the moment I told you I won, you've been trying to get me to cash the ticket with you behind my family's back. When I refused, you called and yelled at my mother-in-law. You yelled at my husband, and you even sent a photoshopped picture to frame my husband for cheating." 11. With that, I pulled out my phone and showed everyone the messages she had sent me. I passed it around for everyone to see. Lauren never expected I would do that. She tried to defend herself. "I was doing it for you. You've always been a naive fool who can't keep a secret. You were abandoned by your own family. You have no real family, no one who truly cares about you. You're giving them this money today, but you'll regret it. I was doing it all for your own good. My husband and I fell in love on our own. He and his family are wonderful to me. I don't need your fake kindness. You can't even get your own life straight. You found a boyfriend who is already married, got exposed at school, and lost your job. And you have the nerve to tell me how to live my life. Who would believe you? It's more likely you're after my money. If I let you take care of it, I'm afraid that freeloader boyfriend of yours would take it all." I laid everything out in the open. There was no way I was going to let her guilt trip us into taking her in. We'll see how long it takes for this family to suck you dry. Seeing she couldn't win, and was only being mocked by the crowd, Lauren grabbed her suitcase and practically fled. I stood in the doorway and helped my mother-in-law steady herself. Mom, don't be angry. I'm never going to be friends with that person again. It sounded a little childish, but it was exactly what my mother-in-law wanted to hear. Soon we moved into our new home downtown, a 3-bedroom apartment in a good school district. At over 1,000 square feet, it was much bigger than our old place. It was beautifully renovated, so our child could have their own room one day. After moving, Lauren couldn't find us anymore. As for how she was doing, I had a pretty clear idea. She was probably job hunting everywhere, and her boyfriend had likely divorced his ex-wife by now. Who wants to support a freeloader who cheats on them? 12. Lauren tried to contact me several times, but I always brushed her off. Meanwhile, I started posting constantly on my social feed. Just little updates about my pregnancy and life at home. Of course, I only posted what I wanted certain people to see. I knew Lauren's burner account was still following me. I knew she wouldn't give up. I just wasn't sure what her next move would be. My father-in-law had recently come home from the hospital. His rehab was going so well that he could now go for walks downstairs with my mother-in-law. He still stuttered a bit when he talked, but he could make himself understood. My husband doted on me even more, ready to grant my every wish. He said that everything we had now belonged to me and the baby, and he had put my name as the primary owner on everything as a sign of his respect. Then one day, I got a call from my estranged biological mother. Ever since I graduated from college, and had a falling out with them, paying them $200,000 to cut all ties, I hadn't spoken to them. That's why, for all those years, Lauren was so important to me. She was the only one who had consistently stood by my side. But now I knew she had just been using me as a personal ATM. No different from my family. My mother calling me out of the blue had to mean something. I immediately hired a private bodyguard and a detective to record our meeting and investigate the whole situation. After buying the house, the car, and everything else for the family, I still had over $2 million of the $5 million left, more than enough to deal with them. Dressed plainly, I sat across from my mother and Lauren. My mother shot me a disdainful look, clearly still looking down on me. I told you back then not to bother with college, and just find a good man to marry. And look at you. You married some poor loser, and even after winning the lottery, you still look like this. Your whole outfit probably isn't even worth $150. She wasn't wrong. My mother's eye was as sharp as ever. The whole outfit cost exactly $150. Mom, me fine. Just say what you came to say. Your brother is getting married. I need you to give him $1 million to buy a condo in the city. Why should I? You're his mother, I'm just his sister. I was supporting him with my part-time job money back in college. Now it's your turn to worry about him. Besides, we had an agreement before I got married. I gave you $200,000 as a one-time payment for your lifelong care. Are you trying to go back on your word now? My mother suddenly slapped me across the face. Mom, how could you hit me in front of all these people? Besides, my brother doesn't even have a girlfriend. Why don't you bring her here, so I can meet her? Then I can give you the money. My mother wiped her hand. Seeing me give in, she smirked triumphantly. What, you thought I was lying? I'm asking you for money because it's a sure thing. It's Lauren. She and your brother have been seeing each other for a long time. What's wrong with them getting married now? 13. I had a feeling this would happen. In my past life, Lauren had flirted with my brother. He was smitten, but they never made it official. This time, my private detective told me Lauren had been visiting my family's home frequently, even staying overnight. She and my brother had been presenting themselves as a couple back in our hometown. Knowing the script in advance was definitely useful. At least I didn't feel that gut-wrenching pain of being betrayed by my best friend and family all over again. But I still had to act the part. Mom, Lauren, how could you do this? I cried out. Lauren, you're years older than my brother. Can't you stop playing with his feelings? Mom, I'm not giving you any money. This is disgusting. I can't believe you'd go along with it. Slap. My mother hit me again. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Lauren's smug face. Without thinking, I turned and slapped her. The blow stunned her. "What the hell was that for?" she shrieked. "You just can't stand to see me happy, can you? You told my family about this just to cause trouble, didn't you? Well, if that's how you want to play, then don't blame me for what comes next. You want drama? Let us have some drama." I dialed her boyfriend's number. "Dave, you spineless coward," I yelled into the phone. "Why can't you control your own girlfriend? She's hooking up with my brother now and they're getting married. Weren't you the one who said you loved her so much you'd kill your wife and kids for her? Now you're just going to let her marry someone else." Lauren tried to stop me, but a large man, my bodyguard, stepped in my way. His arms spread like a wall she couldn't get past. As he blocked her, he said, "Ma'am, can't you see she is pregnant? We can talk this out. You can't harm a pregnant woman. Get out of the way. Mia, please hang up the phone. This is a misunderstanding. Don't tell him yet." Lauren's desperate voice called out. I knew what she was really up to. She was just trying to scam my family. She did get me to pay over $1 million for the wedding and the dowry. Then, she did take all the money and run off with Dave. It was marriage fraud. Unfortunately, my mother had no idea and was just being used. Of course, Dave didn't know either. No man would tolerate his girlfriend sleeping with another guy for money. And even if he did, he'd never trust her again. 14. After all the boyfriends Lauren had, how could she not understand a man's mind? She thought she could manipulate everyone. But she never imagined I wouldn't be there to cover for her anymore. My mother just stood there, confused. What misunderstanding? What are you two talking about? Hiding behind the Good Samaritan, I shouted. Mom, don't you get it? Lauren has a boyfriend. She is only pretending to marry my brother to scam you. She just wants the dowry money so she can run away with him. She spent years as his mistress to steal him away. You think she'd give him up that easily? You've been tricked, and so has my brother. My mother froze, then suddenly slapped Lauren. You bitch. You dare to trick us. Lauren started trying to explain, but I had already turned and walked away. Once outside, I said to the man, "Thanks for your help back there. I might need you for a few more days. I have a feeling they're not done making trouble." "No problem. Your family is really something else." Yes, the man was my bodyguard. With a baby on the way, my own safety had to be my top priority. After that, my mother kept calling me, but I refused to answer. My detective kept sending me updates. Lauren and Dave had a huge fight, but then suddenly made up. Dave stopped asking about her affairs and just stayed home playing video games. But Lauren and my mother grew closer. The power of money truly is endless. It could make people who hated me band together, all of them wanting to bleed me dry. But I was no longer the person who craved family and friendship. I didn't care, so they had no hold over me. I never imagined that when they couldn't get to me, they'd go after my mother-in-law. I noticed that she, who usually went to her group dance class every day, hadn't gone for the past 2 days. Not only that, she seemed to be in a bad mood. I asked her about it. She didn't want to tell me at first, but when my husband also asked, she finally confessed. My mother, Lauren, and my brother had found her dance spot. They hung up a banner accusing her family of stealing their daughter-in-law's money and locking me up so my family couldn't see me. She tried to explain, but it was 3 against 1. They bullied her until she had no choice but to run home. My husband stood up. This is bad. They're probably going to find our house next. I'm not going to work for the next few days. I'll stay home and protect you guys. I waved a hand. No need. I can solve this with one phone call. They looked at me confused. I gave them a reassuring smile and called my brother directly. He answered the phone with a stream of curses, but I just said calmly, "Brother, did you know that Lauren is using your money to support her ex-boyfriend? If you don't believe me, go check out XXX condos. You'll definitely find him there." My brother was a hothead. Since he had come to town, things might as well get a little more exciting. So much for their partnership. It was just a group of people with their own selfish motives. They seemed united, but with just a little push, they popped like a bubble. My husband and mother-in-law stared at me, wide-eyed. Aren't you afraid your brother will get hurt? That Dave guy is a psycho. They were all planning to hurt me. Why should I feel sorry for them? I told my husband and mother-in-law everything. Their eyes filled with pity for me. 15. I thought they'd cause trouble for a few days, but the next morning, the police called. My brother had been beaten up and was in a coma at the hospital. When I got to the hospital, I saw Lauren kneeling outside the room, begging my mother to sign a forgiveness letter so Dave could be released. My mother refused. When she saw me, she tried to lunge at me. It's you. This is all your fault. If you hadn't called your brother and told him where that man lived, would he have been beaten like this? My husband immediately shielded me, while Lauren rushed over. Mia, please sign the letter. Dave can't go to jail. What will I do? I answered both of them at once. Mom, I only called my brother because I didn't want him to be scammed. I told him Lauren had a boyfriend and was using his money to support him behind his back. What did I do wrong? I was just trying to stop my brother from being duped by a vicious woman. My mother yelled. What the hell do you know? I knew she had a boyfriend. We let them stay together because we wanted to get money from you. She stopped mid-sentence, clapping a hand over her mouth. I laughed coldly. So that's it. To get money from me, you conspired with Lauren to commit marriage fraud. Mom, you have disappointed me more than I can say. Officers, you heard that. I don't want anything more to do with their business. Here's $20,000. Consider it payment for my brother's medical bills. With that, I had my husband escort me out of the hospital. The matter was settled. If they ever bothered me again, I would just file a police report. Not long after, I heard my brother was in a vegetative state, and my mother had taken him home to care for him. Dave got out of jail because Lauren gave my mother $100,000 to sign the forgiveness letter. If those two had just laid low, they might have been able to live a decent life. But while my family was away on vacation, they broke into our house and stole my bank cards. They were arrested the moment they stepped out the door. That's right. I had installed security cameras at home. I knew Lauren wouldn't give up. She knew me so well. She thought it would be easy to destroy me. But she forgot that I knew her just as well. I predicted she'd know the passcode to my fingerprint lock. She'd know I was in charge at home and would choose a password familiar to me. She even knew where I liked to keep my bank cards. And so Lauren and Dave were convicted of breaking and entering and theft of $2 million. They were sentenced to over 10 years in prison. Since Dave was already on probation, his sentence was even more severe. After they were imprisoned, Lauren tried to see me, but I refused all her requests. A few months later, I gave birth to a daughter, and our family's life began to revolve around her. It was a simple life of daily routines, but my heart was at peace. $5 million is a lot of money, but it didn't fundamentally change my life. What it did was show me who the real people were and who the monsters were.